For my 13th birthday, my parents bought me Minecraft, a game that would change my life. Now, did I waste a lot of time on the game? Of course. But see, 13-year-old Gohar had a dream. Besides finding diamonds or building the biggest base I could, I wanted to become a Minecraft YouTuber. To me, that felt like one of the coolest things in the world. But to others my age, not so much. See, whereas today becoming a YouTuber is the #1 career choice for most young people, and no, that isn't a joke, back in the day it wasn't as cool. Why am I saying back in the day as if I'm like 40 years old? Anyways, I started uploading gameplay videos and kept the whole thing pretty low-key, until I told a few of my friends. Soon enough, their friends knew about the videos, and within a few weeks, a handful of people at my school knew about the channel. I remember feeling really uncomfortable and coming this close to deleting my channel and giving up on the whole YouTube dream. But as I sit here in front of you today with over 6 million subscribers, I'm so grateful that I didn't. But why? Why did I keep going? Because I chose not to care. Fear of judgment can be one of the biggest limiting factors in our lives, and this obsession over what other people think, who we sometimes don't even know, afflicts far too many young people today. So if this sounds like you, buckle up, because I'm about to go over 4 ways to care less about what other people think. Tip number 1. Embrace the cringe. The path to success is cringy, and that's a fundamental truth you need to accept no matter what your dream is. Let's say you want to become a YouTuber. You need to pretend you have an audience before you have an audience. Even when you have 0 subscribers, you need to pretend that someone is there on the other end listening to you. I remember in my early days, I would start my Minecraft videos with the words "welcome back," knowing very well that there was no one that I was welcoming back. And that can be cringy to people on the outside because there's a disconnect between how you're behaving and who/where you are. For example, you're acting like you have an audience even when you have 0 subscribers, you're at the gym even though you're skinny, you're giving a speech even though you're shy. These judgmental questions are the worst, and you should not give them any attention. They tend to be from people with a fixed mindset, those who believe we are who we are and that we can't change that. This mindset is illogical. If the argument is that you shouldn't make content because you have 0 subscribers, then nobody would make content. I know it sounds dumb, but so is this mindset because it stigmatizes trying. The fact that some people think it's uncool to try is so frustrating because it's the reason so many young people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone, try new things, and express themselves. Divert your focus away from these sorts of people and those who instead have a growth mindset. People who believe our identities aren't closed off in a box, but rather can grow and evolve. To embrace the cringe means to accept this journey of growth, along with whatever obstacles or setbacks might come along the way. Yes, you might look a little awkward as you try something new, and yes, some people might cast judgment. But at the end of the day, you're progressing towards your dream in a way the people casting judgment probably aren't. I have had to embrace the cringe on multiple occasions in my life. When I started my Minecraft channel, when I started my gaming blogs, and when I started this very YouTube channel. This YouTube channel was particularly tough because I put everything on the line. Whereas my gaming stuff was anonymous, this was the first time I was coming on the internet with my name and my face to share my story. This time, it wasn't just a few people at my school who knew. It was my relatives, my professors, my high school teachers, and even my doctor. And I'm being totally serious. But what I can assure you is that if you have a dream and a clear mission, bracing through the cringe is always worth it. Alright, so let's say you do want to start your YouTube journey, but maybe you don't want to show your face yet, or you think you lack the technical skills. Well, that's where the sponsor of this video comes in, NVIDIA AI. They just released something groundbreaking, V3, which is their latest model that allows you to create full-length videos using generative AI with text prompts. Think about how game-changing that is. You can bring any idea to life without any fancy equipment or technical experience. All you need is your creativity. Let me show you how it works. You start by typing in what you want your video to be about. For example, let's create a video about exploring in an alien jungle. I'll go ahead and type, create a minute-long sequence of B-roll shots about a dense jungle on an alien world, with bizarre glowing flora and whatever else I want to show. I'll add some details about the creatures in the environment, and then I'll select Use Only AI Clips. Now watch this. Within minutes, NVIDIA AI generates a complete video with relevant footage, background music, and even a script. But here's where it gets even cooler. Let's say I want to make some changes. Instead of dealing with complex editing tools, I can just type what I want. Watch what happens when I type something like, make the background music more energetic. You can even translate your content into over 50 languages, even ones you don't speak. And if you're not happy with any clip, you can easily swap it out with stock footage from their massive library or generate a new AI clip using a text prompt. It would have been really cool to have this when I started my YouTube journey. It makes creating content so much more accessible, especially for someone who doesn't yet want to show their face on camera. If you want to give it a try, you can start with InVideo AI for free using the link in my description. Check it out and let me know what you create. I'd love to see what you come up with. The beauty of this tool is that it lets you focus on what matters most, your creativity and your ideas. You bring the vision and InVideo AI handles the rest. And now, back to the video. Tip number 2, not all criticism is equal. People cast judgment for different reasons, some out of genuine concern and others as a way to project their insecurities. Before you let someone's words get to you, think about the relationship. Who is this person and why are they saying this to me? Are they genuinely invested in me and my success, or could they not care less about where I end up? Always ask yourself these sorts of questions to protect yourself from unfair criticism. But then that begs the question, what is fair criticism? I believe it's criticism that meets the following 3 criteria. It's criticism from someone who, number 1, shows genuine care for your development. In other words, someone who wants to see you grow and flourish, like your parents or your siblings, not that random internet troll. Number 2, someone who demonstrates an understanding of your circumstances. This one's critical. People often judge without knowing the full story, which can lead to nasty, unfounded criticisms. Take criticism from someone who knows who you are and why you do what you do. For example, hypothetically, let's just say you want to start a clothing brand. Someone who doesn't understand your circumstances might question your qualifications, your motives, and ultimately your character. Oh, this is just a dumb cash grab. But someone who understands your circumstances might know that your uncle's a tailor and that you want to carry forward his legacy. Or maybe they know that you want to start a business to support your family. Someone who doesn't know the world that you come from might struggle to provide fair criticism. And then the third criterion is optional, but it's ideal. It's someone who has relevant expertise or experience. For example, let's again say that you want to start a YouTube channel. Someone who's never made content might say that you need a bold personality or a flashy lifestyle to gain an audience. But someone who's been in the space can tell you that anyone can become a YouTuber, and it's more about authenticity, not showing off. These 3 criteria are so important because the vast majority of people take all criticism equally, whether it's from their mother or anonymous rock329. You need to piece apart the message from the messenger and evaluate the messenger's qualifications. The vast majority of people don't have basis for fair judgment. You'll hear from people without relevant experience who don't understand your circumstances and, most importantly, aren't invested in you. So try not to let their words stop you from pursuing your dreams. And if they ever do get to you, that's fine, we're all human. But try to acknowledge it and regain that sense of control. I mean, it's happened to me before. When I started making content, one of my classmates, or I guess they weren't really a classmate, took a screenshot of one of my videos and tweeted it with the caption, "Make it stop." Listen, I've been getting mean comments for the vast majority of my life. I feel like my Minecraft days trained me pretty well. But for some reason, when I saw this tweet, it hit me harder than any mean comment I had ever received. I ended up taking the video down and I stopped making content for an entire week. But it wasn't until I stepped back and I thought about the 3 criteria that I found the motivation to keep going. This person didn't know my circumstances, they didn't make content, and most importantly, they didn't know me. And after that realization, I quickly regained that confidence to keep going. But that leads me to my 3rd tip. You're always going to care a little bit. To care what other people think is to be a normal, functioning human being. The fact that we're mindful of others' opinions is what allows our societies and institutions to flourish. It's what gives us a sense of belonging and inclusion. In psychology, there's a concept known as social identity theory, which suggests that we develop our sense of self through our group affiliations. These groups can include your family, your friends, your school community, and your sports teams. Heck, if you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, this community too plays into your sense of self. We care what other people think because we want to remain in these groups as they give us a sense of identity. But you also have to acknowledge the limitations of this and not let it stifle your individuality. If you think, speak, and behave like everyone else in your group, and I'm talking more about your social circles here and not your family, you might deprive yourself of the opportunity to try new things and grow as a person. For example, I majored in computer science and business analytics at MIT. The people in my major were one of the groups that I affiliated with, but 0 other people in my major pursued content creation after graduation. The traditional, safer path was to pursue software engineering, consulting, or finance. But I simply didn't want to follow that path. Don't get me wrong, I love computer science and I genuinely love programming, but I wanted to spend my time building projects that I cared about. Also, I love media and marketing, but if I took a job in consulting, the closest I'd get to that is making PowerPoint slides for 16 hours a day. So although it was uncomfortable, I forged my own path upon graduation. Now, did I care a little bit what people thought? Of course. Again, that's part of being human. It was weird telling them that I was going to pursue social media and my own business. But it's important to let your vision take precedence over the opinions of people you might not even know that well. And I mean this in the most respectful way. You should still acknowledge what people say and listen to them and even have an open conversation. But don't overthink their thoughts and let them stop you from your dreams. And that brings me to tip number 4. Others only care a little bit. When I think back to those embarrassing little moments I had when starting my YouTube channel, they feel like distant memories. Whatever small awkward moments you experience today in pursuit of what you want to do are one day just going to be fond memories that you look back on. In the moment, sure, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like everyone is judging and watching, but I guarantee you that nobody will care in a year, month, or even an hour from now, depending on what you're doing. For example, did you trip over a word during a class presentation? I guarantee you that everyone will forget by the following period. Yet, like most people, myself included, you might be thinking about that one small moment for the rest of the day. I actually have a similar story. So during my junior year of high school, I ran for a position in student council. I started giving my speech and everything was going well until I got to the middle. I stumbled over the word pivotal 4 times in a row. To this day, I still remember how I felt in that moment, but I promise you that everyone in that room forgot about it by the following day. And also just randomly, whenever I give a speech now, I always try to include the word pivotal just for that reason. These feelings that I'm describing, that happen to you, to me, to everyone, they're part of a phenomenon known as the spotlight effect, which stipulates that we overestimate how much people notice and think about us. There's actually a famous experiment by Cornell professor Thomas Gilovich, which showcased this phenomenon in action. He had participants wear an embarrassing t-shirt with the face of a famous American singer and walk into a room full of people. He then asked the participants to estimate what percentage of people in that room noticed the t-shirt. The average answer was 50%. But can you guess what percentage actually noticed the t-shirt? 25. Literally half of what the participants believed. Others are far too concerned with themselves to pay close attention to our actions. And with that in mind, I implore you to find the confidence to do or start whatever it is you're dreaming of, because one day you'll be incredibly grateful that you did. If you want to come talk more about this with me and our community, come join the Gohar's Guide Discord server. And of course, leave a comment below with what you think, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next week.